My girlfriend's secret second life. I thought I knew everything about her. 2 years together, same bed, same kettle, same stupid inside jokes. Then, walking home from a night shift, I pass a lamppost and stop. There's a missing person poster. It's her face, same smile, but the name underneath isn't hers. I actually laugh, take a photo, send it to her with a question mark. When I get home, she's sitting on the edge of the bed staring at her hands. The phone buzzes on the duvet. She doesn't look at it. We need to talk, but not here. We drive in silence, motorway, then B roads, then some empty lay-by with a flickering streetlight. She finally says it. For 4 years, she's been two people. Weekdays with me, weekends in another city under another name. Married, a ceremony, a ring, a houseplant she keeps forgetting to water. I ask the only thing I can get out, why? She says it started as a panic lie after a bad breakup, then a job, then it hardened into a life. I think that's the worst of it, until she unlocks her old phone from the glove box and turns it to me. A photo. Her, a man, and a little girl with her eyes. I was going to tell you, she whispers, but I'm not sure which life is the lie anymore. And that's when I realize I don't even know her real name, and a tiny voice from the back seat says, "Mummy, are we going home now?" The wedding that wasn't. 10 minutes before I'm meant to walk down the aisle, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. Don't marry her. She's already married. I roll my eyes. Stag do prank, surely. But when I look up, she's pale. The music starts. The Vicar smiles. I step forward. She steps back. "I'm sorry," she whispers and turns away. Gasps. Dress swishing through the doorway. I stand there like an idiot while my best man scrolls Facebook for answers. Someone finds a photo. Last month, a registry office 2 towns over, her in a white dress. Different bouquet, different groom. I can't breathe. Later, she sends a single message. It wasn't real. I panicked. Please don't look for me. I go home to our flat and everything is gone. Wardrobe empty. Toothbrush gone. Wedding playlist still open on the laptop. And tucked under the keyboard, a certificate. Annulled. 3 days before our date. She tried to erase one mistake with another. I think that's the ending, until I check our joint savings. Withdrawals small and steady for months, labeled with a name I don't recognize. I Google it. It's a nursery, and the photos on the wall, a little boy with her smile, and my eyes. Ex sent me a baby picture. Out of nowhere, my ex texts me a photo, a newborn, swaddled and blinking. He's 2 months old today. We haven't spoken in a year. I type congrats and put the phone down. Then I pick it up. I count back. The numbers don't add up. "Why are you sending this to me?" I ask. She replies, "Because he looks like you." I zoom in on the shoulder. A tiny birthmark, the same shape as mine, the same fleck in the iris. I call. She answers on the fourth ring. She says the timing is messy. She didn't want to blow up my life if she wasn't sure. The other guy wanted a test. She didn't. Then she breaks. "I think he's yours." I drive over. She opens the door with him on her shoulder. He hiccups. I hold out a finger. He wraps his entire hand around it like it belongs there. We sit at the kitchen table with a cheap DNA kit between us like a bomb. We agree. No lawyers, no drama, just the truth. Weeks later, I get the results at work. I open the email in the stairwell. Positive. 99 points something. My knees go. I'm crying and laughing and terrified. I text her, "He's mine." She replies instantly, "He's ours." Then she sends one more message. "By the way, he's got your surname. I always knew." Tet workplace and money chaos.
My boss made me work my own birthday party. They planned a surprise party at the office. Balloons, cake, the whole Slack channel buzzing. Except my boss asks me to cover reception while it's happening. So I sit there answering calls while they sing happy birthday to a closed door. I keep telling myself it's part of the bit. They'll call me in, right? 30 minutes. Nothing. Through the glass, I can see my name scrawled in icing. People I trained are slicing cake without me. My phone dings, pics in hashed fun times. I watch my own party on my own screen from 10 meters away. Something in me clicks. I print 2 things, a resignation letter and a massive invoice of unpaid overtime, itemized by hour, color-coded like confetti. I wait for the group photo. I walk in, I take the knife from our MD's hand, cut myself a slice, and place the envelope on the cake stand like a centerpiece. Then I smile for the camera. HR calls me in. "Is there anything we can do to keep you?" I slide over the overtime invoice and say, "Start with this." The MD coughs. Finance blinks. They realize it's cheaper to pay me than lose me. So I walk back to reception as head of operations. And on Monday, guess who's covering their phones? The office lottery syndicate disaster. We've thrown a fiver each week into a lottery pot for years. It's a ritual. Friday, 4 p.m., Becky buys the tickets. We laugh about yachts. Then one Saturday morning, the numbers hit nearly 2 million. Group chat explodes. Caps lock joy. Except, Hannah didn't pay this week. Her daughter was ill. She left early. I'll sort it Monday. Now she's begging to be included. Half the team says, of course. The other half says, rules are rules. By lunchtime, a decade of inside jokes evaporates. People mute the chat. People unfriend. Monday arrives. HR is mediating. Someone leaks messages. Someone posts an ethics thread on LinkedIn. It goes viral. Clients ask if we're the sort of company that throws a struggling mom under the bus. Our CEO calls an all hands. We vote. It's close. We decide to split a symbolic share with Hannah. Not the full cut, but not nothing. It feels fair. Until Becky confesses she forgot to buy one line of numbers that week. The winning line. We won on a whim ticket she bought with her own money. The room goes silent. And just like that, 2 million becomes zero. But we still lose friends. The promotion from hell. When they offered me the promotion, I said yes before the sentence ended. More pay, proper title, corner desk that looks out over other people's bad posture. Day 1, I get a calendar invite. Legacy risk review. Sounds fancy. 10 minutes in, I realize legacy risk means every error the company has ever made that no one owned up to. We need a leader who can take accountability, my boss says, staring at me like a mirror. They hand me a binder the size of a tombstone. Every late shipment. Every accidental discount. Every compliance oops. My name is typed on the cover. I go home and start reading, pattern after pattern, and one name appears in the margins over and over, my boss's initials. He's been offloading blame, one promotion at a time. That's the tradition. Day 3, I call a meeting. I bring a second binder. Evidence, emails, approvals. I lay it down. If I'm taking accountability, I say, we're all taking it. Legal clears their throat. HR finds their spine. By Friday, the tradition is dead. My boss is pursuing opportunities elsewhere. And my new title quietly changes to director. On my first official day, I put one thing in the bin. That binder. I tracked down the man who stole my bike. It took weeks. Marketplaces, pawn shops, CCTV messages that go nowhere. Then outside a convenience shop, I see it. My bike. The rip in the seat, the scratched bell that sticks. I wait. A guy comes out with a meal deal and unlocks it like he owns it. I follow at a distance. He rides like someone who never learned on that bike. Jerky, careful, not mine. He stops at a lockup behind a row of garages. I watch him roll up the door. Inside, more bikes. 10? 20? Frames stacked like trophies. I take photos. I call the police. They say they'll log it. I go home, rage fizzing. That night, I'm back with a friend. We mark serial numbers, note distinctive features, build a little dossier like we're in a drama. We leave a fake ad for an expensive bike, bait with a meetup spot. He bites. At the meet, he brings 2 lads in a van. We bring the actual owners of 3 bikes we've already identified, waiting round the corner with officers who did show up when multiple reports hit at once. They pop the van. It's a rolling museum of other people's summers. He stares at me like I did something wrong. I look at my bike and ring the bell. It sticks. That's my proof of life. He gets arrested. And when I cycle home, there's a kid on the pavement clapping like I'm a superhero. I'm not. I just wanted my bell back. Nazir 8. Neighbor cut down my tree. Neighbor cut down my tree. I come home to a stump. 20 years of shade, birds, and the swing I used to read on, gone. My neighbor leans over the fence with a smile. It was blocking our sunlight. I count to 10, then to 100. I take photos. I call a solicitor. Turns out the tree was protected. Turns out unauthorized removal can tank a property's value. Turns out they've handed me leverage on a plate. I file. I don't shout. I wait. While the case crawls, I install a 1.9-meter privacy fence right to the legal limit. Then trellis. Then climbing plants that are very enthusiastic about life. Sunlight? Never heard of her. Mediation day arrives. I'm calm. They're not. We agree a settlement that pays for a mature replacement tree and damages, plus an apology letter I frame in my hallway out of pure pettiness. A year later, my new oak is taller than the old fence. Birds are back. Their patio is a cave. They ask if I'll trim the climbers for neighborly spirit. I smile and say, of course, when the new tree has its first swing.
The guy who tried to scam me got scammed back. Phone rings. This is your bank. Suspicious activity on your account. He reads out the first four digits of every card ever. I play along. He wants me to move funds to a safe account. Perfect. I give him details to an account I created last year for a cybersecurity workshop. A sandbox with £0 and a big red flag. He verifies my identity by asking for my mother's maiden name. I give him my cat's. He doesn't notice. He thanks me for my cooperation and says I'll get a reference number by text. I do, because I send him one from a spoofing tool that looks suspiciously like a bank alert. An hour later, he calls back, furious. He tried to transfer money out and triggered a fraud block on his side. Turns out when you repeatedly fail with the same IP, certain systems notice. I tell him I've recorded the call, reported the number, and, my favorite part, I've already submitted the audio to a volunteer group that tracks call center scams. He calls me a name and hangs up. 2 days later, the number goes dead. A week after that, someone emails me a screenshot. A raid. The call center's door is open, chairs are empty. I forward the photo to his old number with a heart emoji.
Every night at 3:17 a.m. It starts with a faint, deliberate tapping on my bedroom window. Always 3:17 a.m. Not 3:16, not 3:18. I think it's wind or a loose branch until I remember. I live on the third floor. No tree reaches that high. Night 2, it happens again. Slow, playful. Night 3 is frantic, like someone's trying to open the glass with their fingernails. I leave the lamp on. It stops. I turn it off. Tap, tap, tap. By night 5, I'm half delirious. I crack the curtain an inch and see the roofline of the house opposite. A man stands there, perfectly still, head tilted, listening. I slam the curtain shut and laugh at myself. I'm sleep deprived, right? Night 6, I set up my phone on the windowsill to record. 3:16, nothing. 3:17, 3 taps. Then, a whisper, too faint to catch. Morning comes. I press play. The waveform spikes exactly at 3:17. I boost the audio in an app and finally hear it. My name. I go to the window in daylight, trace the angle to the opposite roof. There's no access. No ladder. The neighbor says the roof is sealed. Has been since the last tenant fell. I ask when that was. She says, without thinking, 3:17 in the morning. That night, I sleep on the sofa. At 3:17, my phone buzzes on the coffee table with a voice memo from an unknown number. I press play. It's my voice, whispering my name from outside my window.